is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, here we are this Tuesday morning, Erev Pesach. Passover coming your way tomorrow night. This beautiful Holy Week, right? We just experienced Palm Sunday, and now you've got, of course, Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and Easter Sunday coming up. In my religion, we've got Passover. Starts tomorrow night, day before. Everybody getting ready. I've already called Mill Basin Deli. My guy Paul putting together quite a platter. A couple of big Seder plates for Wednesday night. Who better to speak to on this morning than the president of ZOA, the stronghold of the World Zionist Organization, my friend Morton Klein. Morton, Chag Sameach. Happy Pesach. How are you, pal?
Great to be speaking to you from the offices of the Zionist Organization of America. Great to be with you.
Now, where are those offices? Are those in Philadelphia or New York City?
They're in Manhattan, New York City.
Yeah, I think that's where we did the video last year when we were running for seats. Right, okay, yeah, it's a lovely office, and you guys do a fantastic job, and I'm proud to be a part of ZOA, a very, very proud member. And here we are the day before Pesach in a city where the mayor doesn't like us. A lot of folks like to beat around the bush, and they yucked it up with him and laughed with him at the Inner Circle event on Saturday night. And a lot of people are warming up to him that weren't back during the campaign days. And we've got a New York police commissioner who I love dearly. I think she's great, but she's Jewish and she works for him. But I tell the truth. The truth is he doesn't like us. He never will like us. He's going to say all the right things about security before Passover tomorrow night. But in his heart, in his neshima, he doesn't care. What do you think about security concerns in this city here the day before Pesach?
We have a mayor who is openly hostile to Jews. He's an open Jew hater who doesn't give a damn about Jews and has publicly, repeatedly stated he opposes Israel's very existence, not criticizing policies, Israel's very existence. And his wife, and where's the New York Times on this? Not one article. His wife has put out repeated tweets using the N-word against black people, praising October 7th, praising Hamas, praising the murder and rape of Jewish people. It is frightening to have such a mayor in power in New York City. We have to be openly, strongly condemn him. We have to get members of Congress and the president himself to repeatedly condemn this man, to try and diminish the actions he may take, which will only harm New York City. And why does he keep talking against Israel? He's the mayor of a city. Why is he discussing foreign policy repeatedly? Because his hatred for Jews is so intense, he can't even control himself.
Another story that broke a couple of days ago, I had the very smart Eliza Licht in studio yesterday, is that the NYPD, the mayor, really, behind the mayor's guys, it's not Jessica, it's the mayor, but they're lying about some of the statistics where they, in other words, if a rabbi's walking out of his shul, Morton Klein, and a rabbi gets punched across the face, they do not consider that a hate crime unless the person who punches the rabbi screams, "You dirty Jew," then punches him across the face. But a rabbi getting punched across the face in front of a synagogue in New York City, they don't consider that a hate crime. How ridiculous is that?
He's making these absurd statements in order to reduce the official number of attacks against Jewish people. Of course, this is absurd. If anyone slapped a priest across his face as he walks out of a church, it's clear this is purely a Christian-hating person. This man cannot be trusted to do the right thing for Jews or Christians or the city of New York, which is frankly in deep trouble. So, no, this is simply a way to reduce the official number of Jewish attacks when, in fact, they have more than tripled since Mamdani has come into power.
That's a fact, up 182%. This is Morton Klein, the president of ZOA. I belong to ZOA, a proud member in the World Zionist Congress. Let's get to Israel, okay? The Iran thing is still going. I talk about this guy Morton almost every day. He's got a lot of courage. This guy Trey Yingst on Fox News. I'm not sure if he loves Israel or not, but this guy's out there every day ducking missiles and bombs, trying to provide the United States with the best coverage live from Tel Aviv. And we've lost a lot of folks in Israel. I know you're there often. I'm going back for the fourth time in a couple of weeks around June. We've lost a lot of people just sleeping in their apartment buildings in Tel Aviv, in Jerusalem, in Haifa, all across beautiful Israel. What are your thoughts so far on how the Iran war is going, specifically when it comes to Israel?
This is the most important war to defend America, defend American values, defend our way of life since World War II. The most important way. We have to thank God Almighty that Donald Trump is doing the right thing, because this has been a war that the Islamic Republic of Iran has launched against America for 47 years. Over the last 47 years, they kidnapped 52 Americans in their U.S. embassy. They've murdered 241 Marines in Beirut. They've murdered 1,000 Americans in Iraq. They've murdered Americans in U.S. embassies in Africa, several of them, embassies. The Khobar Towers in Saudi Arabia, they murdered Americans. The USS Cole, they murdered Americans. And listen to this, and this is not talked about. 9/11, there was a legal case called Havlish versus bin Laden, and the 9/11 Commission report on 9/11, which shows clearly that Iran funded, facilitated, and trained these monsters, these Islamic monsters, who ended up murdering 3,000 Americans. Iran provided visas for them. So they're responsible for 9/11. And even 10/7, they facilitated and trained the terrorists who murdered 1,200 Jews on 10/7, and including 46 Americans. So this is a war that should have happened a long time ago. This is one of the most important wars ever. And by the way, not only, in addition to what I just said, they planned to bomb the Lincoln and Holland tunnels. We stopped them. They planned to bomb the JFK airport. We stopped them. And they have continuous Iranian threats against American citizens, not only public citizens, but even I. I had 2 FBI agents come to my private home, personal home, and telling me that I am on a hit list of Iran. And there are many Americans on such hit lists. So there's dozens of reasons that we have to go to war, and that's why 81% of the Iranian people support it, 59% of the Americans support it. And let me say, if Israel didn't exist, we'd have to do this war. This has nothing to do with Israel. And I'm deeply grateful for Donald Trump for launching this important war to protect the United States of America and the citizens who live here. And one other point, we now see they have missiles that can go 2,500 miles. They launched missiles last week toward the Diego Garcia Island, 2,500 miles, and hit that island. They can reach all of Europe, and we think they can reach America. This is a war that has to be won. This regime has to be eliminated, and we need a new, normal people running Iran, not these religious fanatics who believe in the literal translation and verbiage of the Koran, which calls for hostility and violence against non-Muslims. They believe in it literally. And by the way, they want this chaos because the Koran says if there's enormous chaos in the world, that it will hasten the arrival of the Mahdi. That's the Muslim Messiah. So they think this is good, all this chaos, because they want the Messiah to come. These are religious fanatics. They're not mentally ill. They're religious fanatics.
That is a heck of a job right there, Morton Klein, one of my favorite people, the president of ZOA. Really, you did a terrific job there breaking down all the attacks and the potential attacks and what they really believe. This is in their hearts. It's not the Bible. It's not the Torah. The Quran is a totally different book, totally different. So I think you did a really good job there. Are you disappointed, Morton? I know that ZOA does a lot of events throughout the year. I'm fortunate to go to a bunch of them and speak at a bunch of them. You guys are not afraid to stand up for politicians across America. We know about the left. We know about the squad, those anti-Semites. We even know about the Jews on the left who are every bit as bad as the squad, whether it's Bernie Sanders, Jamie Raskin, or Chuck Schumer. But you're starting to see a lot of folks on the right. A lot of folks are even questioning J.D. Vance, how he feels about the Jewish people, Israel, all that. Forget about Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. Are you disheartened by what you're hearing about a lot of folks on our side of the aisle?
There's a small but growing number of people on the right that have become insanely hostile to Jewish people. This is pure anti-Semitism. Carson and Owen are clear. I'm disappointed that J.D. Vance has praised Tucker Carlson. And by the way, people should know his son is chief of staff, one of the major people who work for J.D. Vance, Tucker Carlson's son. So there's a huge conflict right there. I wish that President Trump and other members of Congress would publicly condemn Tucker Carlson and just criticize him enormously to reduce his credibility. That's what has to happen now, and we haven't seen enough of that. So, yes, I am worried about that, but people on the left are far more hostile to Israel and Jews and hostile to America, for God's sakes. But it is growing on the right, but it's not nearly at the same level as what we've seen on the left.
That is true.
In fact, let me tell you, there was just a resolution in Congress by Bernie Sanders saying that we should disarm Israel right now in the middle of the war, and 184 members of the Democratic Party voted for it. This is a real problem in the middle of a war to do that.
Wow. Well, that tells you a lot.